It was said that over a period of approximately almost 4 years, 19 trips made by delegations led by the Prime Minister, that those 19 trips cost $10 million. I want you to remember that. That is a fact established. But what the population needs to know is that that is a significant improvement on the reduction in travel costs for prime ministerial delegations going abroad. But before I go there, I want you all to cast your mind back to when, as Prime Minister, I was castigated in the Parliament by the very same people who are raising this now for not going to COP meetings, not going to UN gatherings in New York. I could tell you, during the last term before 2020, I went to the UN once in 2019. I went to the UN just before COVID, and since then, in this term, I went once. So this figure of 10 million would have been considerably higher if I had gone to these meetings. Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, the last one I did not attend. That was in Kigali, in Rwanda. That would have been another serious cost. Dr. Brown represented Trinidad and Tobago. You will recall in the Parliament when I did not attend the first Guyana Energy Conference. I was accused of all manner of evil for not having gone to Guyana, as if I chose not to go to Guyana. In fact, it was said that I had no good relations with the government of Guyana and that I was supporting the government of Granger. All that was said in the Parliament in Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, what had happened, I had chosen as Prime Minister to have gone to the Gas Exporting Countries Conference in Qatar because there were issues arising out of the Glasgow meeting where gas exporting countries were coming under attack and proposals were being put forward for banks to stop funding the exploitation of hydrocarbons. Trinidad and Tobago chose to go to the gas exporting meeting to put our position there. And of course, you know, I spoke to you about that already. And of course, other persons went to the Guyana meeting. And since then, I have participated in, I think, all the Guyana energy conferences, and they've been very valuable to us. So I am not a Prime Minister who traveling for travel's sake. I indicated to this country that I am the country's #1 salesman, and I led from the front in renegotiating and opening terms of contracts that were extremely important to Trinidad and Tobago. So as a result of that, you would have seen in those 19 meetings a number of very important delegations led from Trinidad and Tobago, led by the Prime Minister, to specific instances of activities abroad. So here it is, 10 million for 19 delegations, and that is scandalous. One delegation in a previous government, 2011, one delegation to Australia cost then, and at that time, prices keep going up, right? I'm talking here about 2011. If that same delegation is traveling today, the cost would be about a third higher because general costs have gone up in that way. But at that time, that prime ministerial delegation, one, cost $2.6 million. Bear in mind, the scandalous one that you're dealing with now, raised by these same people. One delegation then was $2.6 million. I could tell you now, without fear of contradiction, throughout my tenure as Prime Minister, no delegation cost $2 million. None. And then there was another one to India in 2012. One delegation to India, led by the Prime Minister, cost $12 million. I didn't see any banner headline in this country about scandal then. a scandal, 19 delegations for $10 million over a 4-year period is now scandal. But when one delegation cost $12 million, the scandal that was raised then, you know what it was? It was the minister speaking to the parliament and lying to the parliament that it has cost $8 million. Look at here, that was published Express, the same paper that carries the banner headline about scandal for my 19 delegations at $10 million. Would go back there and you will find in May 7, 2012, a story about a minister of the then government telling the parliament that it cost $8 million. When I was telling the country it was $12 million because they had misrepresented the amount.